Matthew Klopfenstein, the latest commit for the Baylor 2023 class. Scottsdale, Arizona is where he hails from, so going out of state for this one. Joins Hawkins Poly as far as tight end commits in this class, and of course they brought in a few guys last year that are already on campus, like Kelsey Johnson, among others. But Matthew Klopfenstein, your thoughts on the pickup and now 9 commits for this 2023 class?
Yeah, it's really interesting. The tight end position is a position that I've been talking about for a while now, that they simply wanted to take at least 2 tight ends in this class. And that comes after taking potentially 3 tight ends in the last class, with Kelsey Johnson and Cody Mladinka enrolling early, and then Kyton Roberts-Day is still a guy who's projected to be a tight end, at least to start his career, who will be enrolling in the summer. So moving on to this class, you mentioned they have Hawkins Poly committed. Matthew Klopfenstein, he visited March 24th, and coming off of that visit, I talked to him, and the guy just loved everything he saw at Baylor. He even told me after that visit, he said, "Baylor's where I want to be." I mean, it literally was like he had already made his decision. He committed to taking a visit to UCLA on April 5th, so he went and took that visit. I think he enjoyed it, but I think his mind had already been pretty much made up that Baylor was the right fit for him. The quote that really stood out to me just kind of shows, how culture fit can really be a big draw towards Baylor. But he said, Coach Dave Aranda really talked about more personality and behavior over football. He's a huge gospel believer, and me and him clicked big time. We both share the same beliefs and outlook on things. We're close to how I was raised. So just those comments right there just show you how much of a cultural fit he is, and just how he seems to think Baylor really fits everything that he's about and who he is as a person. So that's kind of the off-the-field stuff. Now, as far as on the field, what he brings to Baylor, 6'5", 230 pounds. He was actually my favorite receiving tight end of the offers that they had out. I think he's a playmaker in the passing game, a guy who can really be a threat deep downfield, a threat in the red zone, and a guy who can actually create some yards after the catch, which is great to see at the tight end position as well. That's what the elite tight ends in the NFL do. When they catch the football, they don't just fall down. They're able to create yards after catch. That's what makes George Kittle, Travis Kelce just so dynamic at the tight end spot. So I think he brings that to the table. He's a decent blocker as well. I do think that's an area he needs to work on. But as far as a receiver goes, he brings a lot to the table. He had 24 offers from Arizona, Arizona State, Cal, Michigan State, Tennessee, Wisconsin, Washington. So tons of offers from all over the place. He's a great player, a really good player. He had 43 receptions for 562 yards and 10 touchdowns as a junior. So clearly he brings production to the table, a guy who's a high-end prospect as well. He's a 4-star in my eyes, a low 4-star. So brings a lot of talent to this Baylor tight end room, and great job by Jeff Grimes and the entire staff for really making a kid out of Arizona feel really welcome at Baylor. And for them to go out of state and continue to have success on the recruiting trail out of state is really, really impressive.
Yeah, and a nice offer list for him as well. A lot of Pac-12 schools, both the Arizona schools, Cal, Colorado, Indiana out of the Big Ten, Houston, Iowa State, Louisville, Kansas, all offering him. So one of the more impressive offer lists of the 9 commits as well. So there you have it. Matthew Klopfenstein from Scottsdale, Arizona, 6'5", 230, the latest member of the 2023 Baylor recruiting class, second tight end along with Hawkins Poly. And we'll see how they continue to round that out. But they're not halfway there yet. They're going to end up with 20 and more when all is said and done, additions through recruiting, and that's just based on averages. And right now, halfway to 18. So they got a bit of a ways to go, but that's fine. That's good. That means there's a lot more to talk about and a lot more players to get to know. But there you go. That's big time, as they've had a pretty little successful spring run, just making impressions and in some cases getting commits. And obviously you also have to count Josh White in that group as well out of the transfer portal.